By definition, personal identity is the concept you develop about yourself that evolves over the course of your entire life. This may include aspects of your life that you have no control over, for example, where you grow up or the color of your skin, as well as the choices you make in life and how you spend your time and what you believe. You demonstrate portion of your personal identity outwardly throughout what do you wear and how do you interact with people. To let you understand better this concept, we took 3 countries and we analyzed their personal identity. And these countries are Britain, United States of America, and Italy, or home country.
Wikipedia defines Britishness as a term referring to a sense of national identity of British people and common cult United Kingdom. The British identity is more felt between younger people than the elderly. More than 20% of people under 60 picked British as their exclusive identity. The top 5 local authorities for British identity are all in the capital, with Harrow at number 1. In Wales, children are less likely to describe themselves as British than their parents because of required Welsh language teaching in schools. Britishness is felt in different ways across the country, as we can see in this video.
I'm quite proud to be British, to be honest. I think we're a good group of people and are quite strong, quite independent in a lot of ways.
It's the place I live. I am British. It's part of my identity. I wouldn't say I'm particularly patriotic. I'm kind of a bit Irish and a bit Scottish and English.
Well, for me, because I'm Welsh, so British for me is like a collective identity. It's nice that like all of us being part of the United Kingdom are able to feel something together as well as individuals, so that's what British is for me.
There's like other cultures living here, so I think British embraces all that as well.
Unity. Yeah. I feel like the British are very accepting of people living outside of like their countries compared to like other areas of the world.
A nice cup of tea, fish and chips, understanding irony, understanding sarcasm.
I'm proud to be British. It means I wouldn't want to be anything else.
On the contrary, Americanness, it's a term referring to a sense of national identity of American people. The USA has always been known for its freedom and democracy. Today's society is in a constant state of evolution. The evolving of American identity considers issues of immigration, diversity and racial equality, assessing the nation's success and failures in these areas. Diversity is a key part in American identity that radically changed the nature of it. It became so strong that it created a new melting pot of citizens, sharing common aspirations and values. This video may help you to understand better the concept of national identity for Americans.
Can you help me maybe define what makes an American?
Freedom, jobs, hard work, prosperity.
You have a tough heart and you're really patriotic of your country.
What's an American? Values, work ethic, family.
Loving this country, standing for the Pledge of Allegiance, knowing the Constitution, celebrating the 4th of July.
There's sort of an illusion that American has its own culture when it really doesn't. It's like a melting pot. To me, a good American is a person that recognizes the diversity and just contributes positively just to the growth of the country. Yeah.
No, it's a multicultural place. It's difficult to say that. It's such a difficult thing to say that because you just can't look at somebody and just say they're an American. Generations of... No, you can't.
Our national identity, due to Italy being divided until 1871, began to be discussed later in history, in about the 20s of the last century. Italian identity, or Italianness, is made by the same principle that form other countries' identities. For example, same language, same religion, similar physical appearance, and etc. But it's not as strong as it used to be, or worse, it's almost non-existent in some cases. This is mainly because of our current political situation and the migrant crisis, the high number of arrivals of people from North Africa due to famine and wars. That is worsening day by day. The thing that keeps our national identity alive is football. Our love for football and for our national football team is what keeps the Italian population united from north to south.
Diversity is also a big part of what makes a nation. By definition, diversity is the state or fact of being diverse or different, and on a larger scale we can apply the definition to a population of a country. In the UK there are a number of established main ethnic groups. Descendants of some of these are now third or fourth generation British citizens, the majority of whom have integrated well into mainstream British society. The analysis of understanding society shown that About 2/5 of white ethnicity in England reported having an English-only national identity, and a quarter saw themselves as having a combined English-British identity. Minority groups were most likely to identify with being British-only, confirming analysis of the 2011 census and other analysis of understanding society data. Almost 1 in 10 of those in England felt neither English nor British. Black Caribbean and mixed groups were the least likely ethnic minority groups to fall into this category, with Black African and other groups the most likely.
America is a nation of nations, made up of people from every land, of every race and practicing every faith. Our diversity is not a source of weakness. It's a source of strength. It's a source of our success. U.S. Secretary of State Colin Powell. The United States is often characterized as a nation of immigrants. Its rich heritage is in part due to successive waves of immigrants from around the world. The United States has welcomed more immigrants than any other country, more than 50 million in all, and today welcomes almost 700,000 persons a year. In America, the 80% of population is white. A big percentage has Hispanic or Latino origin. 13% is African American, 5% Asian, and very few have American Indian Alaskan Native. We can say that America is the most culturally diverse country in the world.
Regarding diversity, after the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989, and more recently in 2004 and 2007, Italy began to welcome many foreign immigrants. According to Wikipedia, Italy welcomes people from countries of Eastern Europe, especially Romania, Albania, Ukraine and Poland, North Africa, in particular Morocco, Egypt and Tunisia, the Far East, especially China and the Philippines, and Latin America, Ecuador and Peru. The language in Italy is officially Italian. However, there are many dialects that aren't official but are still protected by UNESCO, since they are still part of our culture. More interesting is the religious diversity in our country. Roman Catholicism is by far the largest religion in the country, although the Catholic Church is no longer officially the state religion. The longest established religion in Italy is Judaism, since Jews have been present in Italy since the birth of Christ, and as 2009, 1.6% of the population was formed by Muslims, which is of course to focus on the multinationality aspect of diversity, but we have to specify that in our country alone, region by region, the diversity between people are many. Food, ideals, dialects, personalities are different in every part of the nation. That's what makes Italy unique.
Of course, part of identity is formed by values. Values are important and lasting beliefs or ideals shared by the members of culture about what is good or bad. They have major influence on a person's behavior and attitude and serve as guidelines in all situations. We are going to show you videos made by British Americans and Italians about what they think values are to them.
What are our values? They are democracy, the rule of law, freedom of speech, and tolerance.
I do believe that Americans hold our values of our Constitution very highly, but also I think that all of Americans have a strong belief in their own individualism and their own ability to make a difference in their own lives.
We think that you can start at zero and work your way up as fast as you can.
I think also most people do have a value of kind of to obey their own moral code.
I would like to see things like morality and liberty and equality work their way more towards the forefront of the conversation. I think they're in there, they're just not being properly weighted.
Il senso della famiglia resta il valore che nessun altro riesce a scalzare. Dietro la famiglia, nella classifica dei valori italici, svettano il gusto per il vivere bene, ma senza scialacquare, e i sentimenti religiosi, a seguire l'amore per il bello.
Diversity and different values may be understood negatively. The otherness brings fear towards what's different instead of accepting it. For example, in Italy, actions by Lega Nord have been criticized as xenophobic and/or racist by several sources, and more importantly, there have been and still are many episodes of racism in football.
In America, the newly elected President Donald Trump wants to build a wall to block immigration from Mexico and want to make them pay for it. And also want temporarily ban Muslims from entering the United States to prevent terrorist attack.
And Britain often bases itself on racist prejudices. These are the same that made Brexit possible, since one of the reasons that the UK did for leaving was interrupting the immigration of people coming from South and Central Europe.
But this doesn't mean that these countries are completely xenophobic or racist. Many of us in the world, especially between the youngest, do not fear the diverse but instead embrace it. In a global society like ours, it's important to be tolerant to other people's values, ideals, and religion beliefs. Because not only it can be beneficial to us, but also because it creates beautiful links between people all around the world. One way to get to know and appreciate the other country and their culture is traveling. Erasmus is, for example, famous in Europe because it serves this exact purpose. At the end, we can say, strength lies in difference, not in similarities. It's a source of strength. It's a source of our success. US Secretary of State Colin Powell.
Simon Cowell. Adesso
Colin Powell.
Guardami, fai questa azione qui e inizia a parlare.
Però lo sapevo dire!